What's going down? This your boy Steady Pace, and I'm back with some tone talk with my Easy. Man, look here,
good morning,
look here,
good
look here.
afternoon, good afternoon,
Hey,
folks.
we in here, we in here,
Yeah,
we in here now. Hey, Uncle's
Yeah.
finna go ahead and tell his story, and hey, man, it's about to go down. So man, buckle up, man, fasten up, man, and tune in. First thing we want to say is welcome home. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He came out, he did 36 years, 36
flat,
things.
day for day, no
Day for
break.
day. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No furlough or nothing. I'm talking about
Hey.
1989 to January 2006.
Yes, sir.
And man, it was an ordeal, man.
Yes, Lord.
And the only thing that could have gave me through this here, got me through this here, first and foremost, man, I don't want to, make this sound cliche, but you got to have faith in something. You got to have faith in something, whether you got faith in a God or Allah or a higher power, or if it's your mother, your grandmother, or you just want to be able to do things without being locked up. You got to have a faith in something, man.
Yes,
You
Lord.
understand me? So my faith and perseverance is what got me past here. And just a few people, a handful of people that really cared about me enough to reach out and say, look here, people passing away on you, man. It's time to get your act together and come on home. Because 36 years, man, that's a long time. That's a lifetime. You dig? And people was expecting me to die in the penitentiary, man. And even some family members wasn't expecting me to come home, just being truthful and realistic about it.
Yeah.
They simple-minded, and I'm not saying that negative about them or nothing like that, but when you got a life sentence, you ain't expecting to live it out. Most dudes get a life sentence. That's exactly what it is. You die behind them bars, man. Yeah. And the time that I went in, 1989, the penitentiary was very dangerous and deadly. No metal detectors, no video cameras, so everybody walking around with a knife and a chip on their shoulder. It was very segregated and racist and this and that the other. But yeah, man, my boy got a couple of questions for me, so he might want to.
I got you.
You want to ask me some questions, man.
So first off, before we get started, let's start here. So what year did you go in?
Well, I caught my case in 1988. That's when I caught my case, but I didn't make it to the penitentiary to 1989 because I was fighting my case, and I feel like if you ain't caught me with the gun in my hand and the bag in my lap, I ain't do it. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
So that's what it was. Truth be told, I was in the bed sleep when the police kicked the door in and got me. Yeah. I wasn't in no dope trap or nothing. I was at the crib sleeping. All the stuff I got away with, they didn't catch me for the things that I got locked up for. The things I got locked up for was led by my partners running away from the police, and I was the closest one that had an apartment in that area, and they came to the crib. Yeah, they shook the police. They shook the police, and here it is. I'm waking up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody banging on my door, and I'm like, who is this here? Man, let us in. And here they is. Yeah. They want to camp out until the next shift change because, see, criminals, they always doing their homework. They know when the police come on, when the police come off. You understand me? Shift change about 6 o'clock in the morning. So they like, man, let us lay up in here till 6 o'clock. I'm like, what happened? What happened? They ran the story down to me. So I'm like, yeah, okay, but y'all chill in the living room. I'm gonna go back and get in bed. You know what I'm saying? I've been out all night. I went back and went to sleep.
So tell me about like your first so after you got locked up and they came and got you, they took you to Bear County, right?
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Going to Bear County?
Man, it was really
the first time.
It wasn't. I'm gonna say it like this here. It wasn't surprising that they came and got me, because I ain't gonna sit here and say like I'm no angel and everybody confessing. Well, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I had been doing some things. I ain't had no job, and so I had a few cars, apartment, money in my pocket and stuff like that. So it was apparent that I was doing something and getting tax-free dollars. But when they came and got me, it was more or less like, damn, these motherfucking dudes and led the police to my house, and a week later they finally came with a search warrant and arrested me. I said when they was taking me to the county jail, I was in the back seat of the police car with my hands behind my back, saying to myself, I got shit to do tonight. I got to figure this out. Because I knew I wasn't staying in jail. You understand me? And then the cats that brought police to my house, I was like, man, every last one of them fools, I don't give a damn what they do. they finna come bail me out.
Yeah.
You understand me? I'm not trying to hear it. You understand me? Because they don't bail me out when I come across it. They already know what it is. It's on site. That's how penitentiary talk. It's on site.
Yeah.
You know, but all I could think about is all the things that I had to do that particular day when they locked me up. You know what I'm saying? So I had places to go, people to see. You know, I had some business transactions to take care of. All that went down the drain. When they took me down there and told me, look here, we got you for this, we got you for that, we got you for this here, we got a few statements against you.
So when did it start really sinking in that, man, I might, you know, I know you probably was in the county fighting your case. So when was it like, man, I might be stuck here for a minute?
Okay. This what it was like. I went to jail. They didn't just arrest me. They arrested my roommate, which he was down the hallway also. His name was Melvin. They called him Hopper. We was like brothers, man. You seen him, you seen me. You seen me, you seen him. So both of us went to jail. And after about 4 or 5 hours, the magistrate had called me in there and ran through the paperwork, this, that, the other. And they never did tell me what my bond was, but I was telling them, man, let me go on and get a bond so I can get out of here. And the magistrate told me, he said, man, the bond that they had already asked for, you're going to need somebody rich to come get you out of there. Wow. And I just laughed about it. And when I finally went upstairs and got on the phone, you know, back then, they didn't have no cell phones and all that kind of stuff. They were just coming out with that technology. So I had called somebody on a beeper and told them to call this girl, and they did. I called them on a 3-way, and I said, call up here, see what they got me charged for, and see what my bond was. They called up there. They said, you got a $2 million bond, and your brother Hopper got $1 million bond. I'm like, oh, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you got to pay, what, $20,000 to get out?
Yeah, you got to pay a quarter of that. Yeah. You know, well, I'm going to say 10%, so you had to pay, I don't know, on a $2 million bond, I would have had to pay $200,000 to get out. I'd have had to pay $200,000 hard cash and have some type of collateral stuff to put up. Them cars wasn't even worth it, so, you know, ain't no sense in sweating that, you know. But then this was the trick. 2 days later, I was coming down the hallway, getting ready to go to a visit, and somebody just told me, somebody that just seen me on the news that didn't even know me. He said, say, man, your name Eric? I like, yeah. He said, man, you getting ready to get out. I said, oh, now? I said, what you know? I don't know. He said, bro, your brother just got out. He had $1 million bond. And they just dropped his case. He just got out. I'm like, oh, yeah? Like, okay. I felt a little better. Then when I went to the visitation room, I had a visit. They had just told me. They said, man, Melvin just got out. So they dropped his case. I'm like, okay. He told me to let you know he going to come get you. I'm like, all right. So I wasn't even worried about it. You know what I'm saying? But as time went on, you know, days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. And that's when it really got serious. And then I started hearing things through the grapevine, and it killed my spirit right there. You know, so I knew I'd be sitting for a while.
Yeah. So as you getting the news, what was going through your head? Like, man, like, he ain't come get me, or what's going on?
Man, I'm
and you said you was on the news, so
case
dang, what was on the, like,
man, listen,
what was going down
on this particular case? What happened? I don't know if you could Google it or if they still hold on to the records, but I got arrested on this charge April the 1st, 1988. So I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
You understand me? Because it was the day of April Fools. You understand me? April the 1st, 1988, when I got arrested. And you got to understand, when they come and arrest somebody, they normally bring about 2 or 3 police. But after I counted over 30 police, I stopped counting. I was figuring they got the wrong guy. There's something else that happened. Somebody that died.
Yeah.
I ain't killed nobody.
You
what they got 30 police out here for? What they got the ambulance out here for? You know? I'm saying, what they got special rope team out here for? You know, dogs and KC-12.
All this over like a jacking, or that's all this?
These is robberies that's being committed. And, you know, and they was calling us Negroes and everything. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what it was. And so I sat up in the county jail for a minute. And I was in there sleeping in my cell one day, and my partner that I had met up in the county jail came and told me, he said, say, man, they just got the rest of your partners. I'm like, what? Say, come look at the news. Come look at the news. So the dudes that they associated me with had just robbed the armored truck. And then they moved me because they thought they robbed the armored truck to come get me.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
they had moved me to an isolation cell because they was figuring these dudes that robbed the armored truck, they was a part of this robbery gang that Easy got. And
Yeah. Oh, you supposed to be the leader of that?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So that's what it was.
Yeah.
And they, moved me upstairs with the Mexican mafia. I'm the only black dude up there with the Mexican mafia.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that, they got one TV up there for everybody. But when they brought me up there, all the Mexican mafias, they started clapping like they was, happy to see me or something. And they knew I was coming.
Yeah.
They knew things that I didn't even know.
You remember what pod you was in?
Yeah, well, on 200 North Commerce Street, the regular population is on. At that time, they was on the second floor. Then they ended up moving us to the fourth floor. And then they had put all the lockups on the sixth floor. So they shot me up there to the sixth floor to lock up, permanent lockup.
That's I think the sixth floor, like the high risk, something like that, right?
Yeah, sixth floor where all the gang members, where all the Mexican gang members. See, one thing about gangs, they take the Mexicans serious. They don't take blacks too serious. They know blacks ain't gonna come with nothing but they knuckles. They know the Mexicans gonna come with them knives. They gonna try to kill you. They feel like if I'm gonna get some time for it, I might as well kill you. So if they go after you, 99% dead, you're gonna get stabbed. It's 100% you're gonna get stabbed, but it's 99% that they're gonna end up killing you. Keep punching you until you're dead. So they moved me up there with them. So I didn't know if they was moving me up there to set me up or what, because I hadn't heard the news and I ain't know nothing about what was going on. So they was keeping everything a little secret.
Yeah.
That's how the county jail was back then.
Yeah, so in the county jail, I know it's different. County down in San Antonio, it's a little bit different. So your first day getting in there, did you have people that you knew already there, or was you by yourself? You know what I'm saying? How did you navigate that? Because knowing you have probably the Mexican mafia there, I don't know if they had the older homes over there. I don't know how it was back in the 80s.
No, back then, it was only two Mexican gangs that ran things. Number one was the Mexican mafias. Number two was the Texas Syndicate. All the other Mexican gangs, you ain't really even too much heard of them around the Mexican mafia and Texas Syndicate. They gonna if they was around them, they're gonna keep their mouth closed. They're gonna be quiet because the Mexican mafia and Texas Syndicate was square business. Mexican mafia was a big giant force, and they had a bunch of soldiers. The Texas Syndicate, they had soldiers, but not like the soldiers they had for the Mexican mafias. So the Mexican mafias were respected in the county, mainly throughout Texas. It didn't make no difference where they was. If they had that M&M on their shoulder, chest, or back, they go into permanent lockup. Simple as that.
Sure.
And they ain't have to do nothing. As soon as they go to jail, they go into permanent lockup. As far as us blacks, it didn't make no difference what gang you was in the streets. You had to literally do something to go to permanent lockup.
Yes. So how's navigating as a black man in there? Did you have people there? Did everybody click up? Because I know they had Crips and Bloods. Did all the Crips and Bloods click up, or did it just become just
but
black?
See, down here in San Antonio was a lot bit. It's a little different than you probably got in L.A. County or Chicago and this and that the other. Really just one side of town is black, so you ain't got that many blacks that's locked up. So when you go to the county jail back then, when I went to the county jail, you might be on an 80-man tank, and on an 80-man tank, it's probably be like less than 10 blacks on there. So it don't make no difference if you was a Crip, Blood, and I was coming in as a GD, which is a gangster disciple. So it didn't make no difference what if you was a dope fiend, crackhead, or whatever you was. The blacks automatically greeted you when you came through the door, and they gave you a number, let you know, man, you the 8th one over here, bro. And look here, it ain't but 8 of us over here, so we got to stick together because these Mexicans, they run the TV, they run the telephone, and all that. And I came to know shortly because I was trying to get out of jail. And I got on the phone, and I ended up having a couple of fights behind that phone quite a few times, squabbling Mexicans behind the phone. You know what I'm saying? Because at that particular time, the blacks had to get permission to get on the phone. You had to pay to get on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was.
They ain't gonna fly.
No, they wasn't gonna fly with me. So I was squabbling. You know what I'm saying? And, that was another thing. You build a reputation around a jailhouse when you go to squabbling, you get in disciplinaries and all that kind of stuff there. And then they consider you a bad actor. You already got a bad rep. So coming from the county jail to the penitentiary, that rep follow you. And they like, look here, we're going to have to isolate you over here because the county jail, you've been there like 6 months. You had 15 fights. You very assaultive. So first and foremost, we're going to isolate you over here. And that's going to decide whether you go into close custody, medium custody, or minimum custody, which now they call G5, G4, and G2. G5, which is close custody, which is the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You understand me? And G4, medium custody, which is in the middle. And G2 is the best custody, which is minimum custody. You can walk around without police is watching you, this and that, the other. They didn't have cameras back then, so you had the free run of the penitentiary. You know, and that's what everybody strive for. But, you know, that's what it was when I went down there.
Yeah. So, now I know a lot of people that's been locked up and they hate the county jail. So was the county jail, because man, when people be down there, be like, man, let me catch change. You know what I'm saying? Cause was the county jail and prison totally different? Or I heard you get more freedom in prison than you did the county jail. Or how was that transition?
You get to move around in prison because prison is a big campus. Most of the prisons is on acres and acres of land, man, because you know they got field squad, horses, and all kind of stuff. You know, and it's a big building. If you ain't in the building, you in a campus where you can walk from building to building. You got to walk outside to go to the child hall. You got to go walk outside to make it to the medical department. You got to walk outside to go to, and when I'm saying outside, you ain't just literally standing outside waiting on these places. You leave this building, go out the door, and you walking down a hallway that's guarded by something to keep you from getting wet if it rains or something like that. But you got to walk to another building to go to the child hall. Leave out that building, you got to walk to another building. The child hall is where you eat at. To another building to go to the infirmary. The infirmary is where you get medical care. If you're diabetic, if you
get some fresh, you
need
fresh air.
This and that other. But if you in one of them old units, like my first unit was Cofield, they call it the glass house, and you know, you inside, and that's a big unit. You can go from P1 all the way to P4, you know, and you can see dudes that's been there like 4 or 5 years, and this could be the first time you've seen them because the unit is so big. But you do get a little bit more movement and being able to move around, to go to the gym, you know, go to church. You can do all this here when you're in the penitentiary. You could just, you know, walk outside and go to the rec yard. Not when you want to, but when it's designed to go out there. The county jail, you just on one block all day. All day on one block. Sitting in one area all day. You know what I'm saying? Either trying to use the phone, watch TV, or just looking out the window. Simple as that. So everybody wanted, if you doing time and you know you're finna get some time, you're trying to hurry up and get that out the way so you can go on down there to the penitentiary.
And the commissary food is different, or the food different, or about the same?
Well, you know, they got more variety of items that you could purchase when you go to the penitentiary. You know, now I wouldn't advise nobody to be looking at this like I'm trying to, you know, uplift this and glorify this, because it's not nice at all. You know, everything you eat, you got to put a soup with it. Whatever you spread with, you got to put a soup with it. So you're gonna be eating soups every day, in and out. If you got money to go to commissary, that's what you're gonna be eating. You know, and I have a sweet tooth, so I like the junk food. So, you know, I ate majority of junk food when I was young. I still got all my teeth looking good. You understand me? Man. I had to brush my teeth 3-4 times a day. But man, I admit quite a few interesting characters down there. One who gave me my name, E.
Yeah. Well, let's stop. Well, let's do this. Let's go back to the county. Yeah. Now, you in the county, right? And again, we're doing this is not to glorify the prison or glorify getting locked up, because that's the last place you want any black brothers to be going to. Anybody to go through. That's the last place we want anybody to go through. But for you youngsters that think it's cool out there, hey, it's real in the field out there, and it ain't nothing to play with. You don't want to risk your life and risk your safety and freedom, you know, trying to be tough. You know what I'm saying? But let's go back. You know what I'm saying? We're going to walk it back. Like I say, he did 36 years. So, hey.
I was 21 when I came 21.
Yeah.
And 58, I just got out.
At 21 to 58. Yeah. That's a big chunk.
That's a whole lifetime I missed out.
It's a big chunk of life.
That's a whole lifetime. Some 2 lifetimes, because some people don't even live to be 25 or 30. You know.
So while y'all out here trying to be hard and tough and think want to run the streets, man, that chunk could be out your life too. So this is what we're doing. We're trying to stop some people from going there, and stop some people from making that one decision. Only take one decision. Only take one time. That's what we call it. Only one time, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So we want to help some people. But let's go back to the county. So you go to the county. when was your first altercation when when you got there?
Well, my first altercation was really over the telephone.
Telephone.
Because I had already had it in my mind that I was getting out. Even though I had a $2 million bond, I had it in my mind I was getting out. My 21-year-old thinking that I was above the law. I was like, man, this jail ain't gonna hold me. $2 million bond ain't gonna hold me. I got dudes out on the streets. You understand me? I know they seen me getting arrested. They putting it in right now to make bail for me somehow or another. You understand me? So my first incident is getting on the phone and not knowing the laws. Not necessarily just not knowing the laws of what's customary in jail.
Okay.
In San Antonio County Jail, it don't make no difference what no black dude said back then. The Mexicans ran the county jail.
Yeah.
Then was all that was employed. All the officers was Mexicans. The women, the men, the rank, everybody was Mexican. You got to understand this is a Mexican town, and this town is being ran by Mexicans. We got one side of town that's predominantly black, and you got a lot of Mexicans over there now. But in the county jail, you know, the Mexicans ran the phone. That was how they hustled sometimes. If you wasn't a part of the Mexican mafia and getting that money in like they was getting it in, you know, you had to scrape up in because you got to understand people going to jail ain't rich or ain't got no money. That's why they in jail for doing wrong, trying to make some money. Whether they was robbing, jacking, selling dope, whatever they was doing, they was doing something to try to make some money.
What's some of the hustles with I guess the phone hustle? What are some of those type of hustles what they would do?
Okay, well, you know, you got a lot of, you know, in jail, the things that's really big at that particular time was coffee and cigarettes. Coffee and cigarettes. So, you know, they was charging a pack of cigarettes to use the phone for 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And you still had to pay like $3 just for them to accept your call or whoever was on the other end if you was calling collect. You know what I'm saying? They had to pay that money.
So they paying that money in, you got to pay.
Yeah, you got to pay to use the phone. Let alone
and your people got to pay.
Yeah, through the phone system, you got to pay them to use the phone. And then at the same time, you're going to use the 30 minutes up. You know, the Mexican, he want a bag. He want a bag of coffee. Not a bag of coffee, but he want coffee to add up to what the price of the cigarettes cost at that particular time. So they have a list of names on the wall up there. They might have Martinez from 7 to 7:30, and then have Rodriguez from 7:30 to 8.
These are inmates.
Yeah, they done wrote their name on there. They done just put a piece of paper up there, put some tape on it, and just wrote their name on it because they ain't got nobody to call. Whoever they call ain't accepting their calls. Yeah. So they just put their name up there and put their times on there and say, this is my time space right here. Yeah. So between that time space, if wasn't nobody on the phone, you know, what was traditional is somebody get up there and say, okay, it's 7:15 right now. It say 7 o'clock through 7:30, Martinez. You go to the phone and say, look who Martinez is. You're like, yeah, what's up, Vato? You know what I'm saying? Say, man, I'm trying to use the phone. You got from 7 o'clock to 7:30. Okay, it's 7:15. And he said, okay, well, you can use up 15 minutes of my time. And then if you want to use the whole 30 minutes, you'll be going into Rodriguez time. So you just give us a pack of squares. We're going to split it down the middle. You're going to use it for 30 minutes.
And you had to go with that.
Yeah, you had to go with that or you're going to get rolled down on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so all the Mexicans stick together. No matter what the circumstances is, the Mexicans going to stick together. They stick together. Unlike blacks. I don't know what the problem is, but blacks seem like they don't like each other. So me not knowing the rules and this, that, even if I did know the rules, I'm not abiding by that. I'm different. Yeah. So when I got in there and I went to my room with a little cell, put my stuff up, I came back out, wasn't nobody on the phone. So my partner, Melvin, which we call Hopper, that got out. I said, I'm finna call my partner, see what's happening. See, they got out. I picked the phone up. I wasn't on the phone by maybe 30 seconds. The phone had just, you know, arrived to his little brother named Duck. I had called Little Duck. And they stayed out there on Callahan and Calabro in that area right there. I called Duck. And as soon as he answered the phone, I could see a shadow approaching me off the glass because the phone is sitting up there with the picket. And the picket is window. So it looked like glass. And I could see a shadow. And I heard somebody say, look out, black. As soon as I turned around, it was too late. Mexican had already hit me.
Stole off on him?
Yeah, he beat for me. You know what I'm saying? He had beef for me, the one that had his name up there, Martinez. Yeah. I never forget it. It's like yesterday. You remember your first fight.
Yeah.
You know, so that was my first fight in the county. So He had beef for me. Boom, the phone dropped, but the lick didn't sting. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, I'm just coming from the streets. You know, I'm just jumping over the fence, throwing truths and foes over the fence. So I'm, you know, I got a little size on me, and I've been, you know, running from the laws and all that kind of stuff. That keep you in shape.
Yeah, for sure.
So soon as the phone dropped and I turned around, I immediately went for the throat. I had, man, this little Mexican, look, you got the audacity to hit me. You know, I grabbed him by his throat, picked him up and slammed him. And when I did that, about 4 or 5 more Mexicans came and jumped on me, saying, no wrestling, no wrestling. So they got rules and regulations how you fight. Yeah, they got rules and regulations how you fight. And so, so when that happened, you know, it wasn't no more about 3 dudes in the day room that was black, and I'll never forget it. One of them was named John Satterwhite, R.I.P., man, rest in peace of John Satterwhite. He got executed. But John Satterwhite was on the wang with me, and he was back there in the shower. When he seen them jumping on me, you understand me? He come out the shower with just this dry towel wrapped around him, and he was the only one that stood up. He came and took a table and picked it up in the air and throwed it down and took the table leg and just started beating the hell out of him. You understand me? And when that was all said and done, one of my partners was locked in the cell. R.I.P. to him too. His name Wayne Robinson. And he was like, get me out, man. F that, get me out. And so somebody ended up getting him out. And he's like, man, what's up? And everybody ran it down to him, what's up? He said, man, you want your get back? I'm like, hell yeah, I want my get back. So me and the little Mexican, we went inside the little old closet room where they keep the mops at. And I practically down there beat him to death up in there. You know, so that was my first fight. And that was the fight that took me to BJ. I went to BJ, was on the 6th floor also. That's a lockup.
So you was on, did you go to First Offender Pod up in First Offender Pod BB or something like that?
No, I ain't go to no First Offender Pod. You know, like I said, at that time, I was 21 years old, and I had already been to the county jail before.
Oh, you already been there before?
Yeah, I had been there before. Okay. You know, I had been there before and got some probation.
Okay.
Yeah, I had got some probation, so I was on 5 years of probation anyway, so they had already knew that I had been through the system. So they put me on a pod where everybody was waiting to go to the penitentiary or waiting to get some time. You know? And, you know, it's a couple of cats that I had known from the streets. I had just really met these guys in the streets. And so when I came to the county jail, I already had known some familiar faces. Okay. You know, I met a dude in the streets and I'd seen him again in the county jail, Danny Speed, Wayne Robinson, Gerald Hill. You know, these are just few of the, you know, East Side legendary crime lords that was in and out the jail and out the prison systems and stuff like that there. So I had seen these faces. So we just automatically gravitated to each other. And we had made a bond and a click without even telling each other that we're going to look out for each other. Every time it was time to eat breakfast, if you ain't want to eat breakfast, all of us came out. Anytime somebody wanted to go to the gym, all of us went to the gym.
Well, there'll be no jumping on.
Because you know, when you walking around by yourself, them Mexicans, they feel like, you know, he's solo and you know, we could take him. He got some money. We could take him. You know.
So after that situation, did it die down for you or did it kick up for you?
Well, you know, the reputation had been built. You understand me? Because when I got out of lockup, the wing that I got moved to, as soon as I was going through the door, a black approached me and told me to say, look out, E. Say, man, check this out. Over here, we got the phone today, and tomorrow the Mexican gonna get it. Then the next day we gonna get it back, and then the next day. So they was taking turns. Yeah, they had some type of structure over there. Yeah. But me being who I was, man, I wasn't trying to hear nothing about no structure. I'm using the phone every day. If ain't nobody on that phone, I'm getting on there, man. So I'm not agreeing to none of that. And so they was more like saying, look here, man, we ain't got no trouble with these essays over here. We good, man. Don't start no shit, man. And it won't be none. You understand me? But like I say, man, if somebody come jam me up by getting on this phone, it's going down. You know? Yeah.
Now, so you from St. Louis.
And no, I'm from East St. Louis.
My bad. My bad.
But see, East St. Louis. A lot of people don't know. If you ain't never been up that way in that Midwest, it's in the Midwest. And I don't know why it's called the Midwest, because we're in the same central time zone as Texas is right here. Yeah. And from East St. Louis to Chicago, we all in the same central time zone. Yeah. Right now, it's 1:14. Yeah. Up there in East St. Louis and Chicago is 1:14. In St. Louis and Chicago. But the difference is that St. Louis is in Missouri. It's on the west side of the Mississippi River, right across the bridge. You can go across Ayers Bridge, Martin Luther King Bridge, or it's various bridges that you can go across to make it to East St. Louis, Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Now, they practically on the map look like they're in the same spot, which they most likely is, because going from St. Louis, Missouri to East St. Louis, Illinois, you can get there in like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it ain't no traffic up there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois, which they consider the dark side from St. Louis. You dig? So East St. Louis is segregated, man. It's an all black city. And ain't no sides of town. It ain't got no white side of town. Every side of town you go to is black. Not saying that no whites don't live there, but for a white person to live there, they either one or two things. They either got a business store or they poor just like we were. You understand me? And so I'm from East St. Louis.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. So being from East St. Louis, all right, we're gonna stop there, but when we come back, we want to talk about coming from East St. Louis, how your childhood was there, and how you make it to San Antonio, and how it was in the 80s. You know, when you was here.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
But that's gonna be part 2. So make sure y'all tune in, lock in, and we're gonna keep this thing going. All right.
Yeah, holla at you boys. Y'all take it easy, man.
Yes, sir. We be back.
Yeah, we will be back.